Hello and welcome back to Digital Dialogue. Hey y'all, how's it going? Just a quick note before we get started in this video. In the description below or in the comments below, you're going to see that we've broken up this interview into different sections. So if you'd like to go specifically to a topic that we've covered, just check it out there, click through, and enjoy. Speak to you soon. Super excited to have you here. Now, I've been getting some feedback about the format and the channel. A lot of you are actually watching this on the desktop, and I strongly encourage you to pick up your mobile phone, open the channel, hold the phone vertically, and watch it full screen, and then it's like you are in this video call with us right now. Now, I am super excited today because we have on this video call the founder of a global brand. Susie, can you tell us a little bit more about who we have today?
Of course, I'm very excited for this episode of Digital Dialogue as we have a fantastic guest on. He has a vast experience in dancing and sports. He's been dancing for 12 years. He's got a fitness degree from Norwegian School of Sports Science. He is also the CEO and founder of the Fit and Sensual company. And he does a functional training program, which is targeted for dancers and is created by dancers. And actually, it's a program that I'm doing right now. I'm absolutely loving it. Bring on Sebastian from Fit and Sensual.
What's good, everybody? It's an honor to be here.
Hey,
I'm a fan of this podcast. This is an amazing dialogue.
It is so good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for liking me. It means a lot.
Whew, man, it's reciprocal. That's. I just actually finished your workout. I'm literally on this call immediately after finishing one of your workouts. Now, Seb, remind me, take me back. How did we meet? How did Digital and Dialogue and Fit and Sensual intersect?
So I believe it's 2017, which is the first edition of Fit and Sensual Festival, which is a festival that combines fitness and dancing, particularly bachata sensual and Latin salsa scene. So I say there, which is like July 2017, and then I think we started having conversations and just interacting more in Sensual Week, which is another festival.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I know we're saying festival and congresses and Sensual Week, and y'all like, I thought this was a channel about discussion, not sensuality. But this is all tied to the mutual love across the three of us for dancing. So if you don't know what we're talking about, if you're not familiar with the Latin social scene, wherever you happen to be, check in the description below. We have a link to Susie's other channel. She actually goes into depth about what is the social dancing scene, what are congresses, such as Fit and Sensual, such as Sensual Week, where Seb and I got to connect. So yeah, more down below. Now, Seb, you and I have had tons of conversations. We get on the call. We go from the philosophical to the fitness to the nutrition to the life. But a lot of us, including myself, Susie, I almost called you your nickname, Susie. That's so great. Susie and I have had this question. I've seen a lot of people pose this question. A lot of people have been posing this question to me, and I can only imagine on your coaching calls, people pose this question to you. How do you find balance during this time?
I think that is such a good question to start off with, because I'm always pushing that my balance is not the same balance as you have. There is no cookie cutter balance scale that we all can stand on. It's very important that you know your individual goals and your capacity, and just a parenthesis here is that your capacity is probably more than you're pushing right now, just letting you know already. But everything starts with the nutrition side of it, because you can't out-train a bad diet. That's impossible. So let's start with the nutrition.
All right, tell me a little bit more. Okay, so if the foundation is nutrition, first of all, what the heck is nutrition? Is it just the food pyramid that I grew up with, or is that outdated? I honestly don't know what to eat. Like, literally, I feel like I eat healthy, but it's more an intuition than a science on my end.
So when it
Just
comes
to
Sorry,
just to add a question. This is a really important conversation to have, as a lot of people, such as myself and Jean-Michel, arriving in the UK, don't believe that they can eat healthy. Sorry for the shade, but a lot of people start to not follow a diet because they think that eating healthy is really difficult. So, Sebi, can you please comment on that?
There is
Myth
always
busted.
a solution to eat healthy. Even in the UK, I promise you guys that much. So when it comes to nutrition, it's like there are three main factors and a fourth one that is very valuable. So the first three things you got to look out for is carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Just very fast. Carbohydrates is grains, rice, pasta, potato, wheat, some vegetable or most vegetables. And then at the other side you have fats, olive oil, avocado, fatty fishes, and then you have protein. Protein are the building blocks that if you want to build muscles. And they are everything that comes from animal protein, which are all the animals we're eating, and then you obviously have like vegetable protein, you have vegan protein like tofu, tempeh, beans or lentils in general are also protein, but they are more fat because or more fibrous carbohydrates, and then so those are the top three. Those are the top three that you need to really consider. And then the next one is your micronutrients, and that's especially important now when everybody's inside. We don't get exposed to sunlight as much. So micronutrients is everything from vitamin C, vitamin D, blah 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 blah. But if you're having a vitamin dense or a good diet, like a healthy diet, a well-rounded diet, you should be able to pick up enough nutrients or micronutrients also.
Seb, what does that well-rounded diet look like? Because all I hear is carbohydrate is the devil and protein and fat the savior. Is that a rounded diet?
Sorry, go.
Is that a well-rounded diet?
Okay, so a well-rounded diet, again, it depends on your goals, right? I always love to say, like, I don't do diets, I do lifestyle. So for me, there is no diet that I jump on and I want to do it for 12 weeks, because a diet is something you try for a short period of time, and then when you're done, you are done. So you should find something that is sustainable for you. And for me, for example, I find that to be intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting is, in a short explanation, is I eat all my food within a constricted time window, and then I eat everything in there. So instead of eating no carbohydrates, or which is, for example, the ketogenic diet, which is like, okay, there you really have the carbohydrates being the devil. But I like carbohydrates, first of all, and it makes me feel good in my body. And me as an athlete who's training and dancing a lot, I feel it's very valuable, because carbohydrates are the source of energy. Unless you are doing keto, then the body creates ketones, and then blah blah blah, the fats becomes ketones, and then the fats is becoming energy instead. But to keep it very very basic, instead of, and this is what I found especially for people who are living hectic lifestyle, eat within a more constricted time window, like that you're consuming less calories, and really focus on having calorie dense food. Not quick Snickers here, some empty white bread there, some craziness over there. Try to binge eat as little as possible and have good, proper meals.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, Susie. I know we're chomping at the bits to ask you questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're bursting with questions. So, Seb, you have mentioned fasting, which is intermittent fasting, as Jean-Michel and I know from your programs and about your lifestyle. Would you please speak more about that? Because I would quite like to mention the importance of it and kind of listen to your advice, and talk about supplements as well.
Absolutely. So if you're looking on mankind from an evolutionary perspective, we never had the access to food that we have right now. Just imagine giving your great grandfather a Snickers bar. Like, his body wouldn't be able to take all of that. And it's just so much sugar, so much fat in such a condensed form. So what intermittent fasting is, it's again, I'm eating the same amount of food that I did before, just in a constricted time window. The normal time window, or the most popular time window, is usually 16 hours of fasting, 12 hours of eating, which means I eat my first meal at noon and I eat my last meal at 8. Now, with that
Shaq, does that mean you include sleep time as part of that fasting window?
Exactly. Sleep time is definitely included. So if you sleep 10 hours, you just get 6 hours left. Or you sleep 8 hours and you have 8 hours left. So you can always play with that mathematics. And then you have people saying, yeah, but I love breakfast. Don't worry, have your breakfast, but fast in the afternoon, then fast at night. I'm not a breakfast person. and I've never been. So for me, it's much easier to have my first meal between noon and 3 p.m. and then eat all the way until the night. And that's the basics when it comes to it. And then of course you have the one thing about nutrition that everybody forgets, and it's water. And water is before all the macros, before all the micronutrients and intermittent fasting. Hydration is the key to cognitive function, muscle building, just overall health. So I always push the water on everybody.
So would you say that intermittent fasting is your lifestyle?
It's definitely part of my lifestyle. I find it being so sustainable for me. I feel a lot healthier. It's also have been proven from so many different areas to just like improved cognitive function, longevity, cancer preventing, diabetes preventing. So it's definitely a huge part of my lifestyle. And then you have people saying, no, but you can't build muscles on intermittent fasting. And I beg the difference. I really do. I really do. And I proved it.
Sebi's living proof. Yeah, exactly.
Take my shirt off.
And tell me, in terms of intermittent fasting, what do you do to manage cravings? Because let's say you're new. I think, my experience has been if I eat at a certain hour, it doesn't matter. I just always get hungry at that time. So what does someone do to transition into this shorter window for eating? What can we do to satiate our appetite without ruining the fast?
So then again, when it comes to nutrition and training, we have these principles that are just timeless, and progression is one of them. So if you have been eating from since you were a kid, you ate the first time in the morning, let's say 7 o'clock, and then you were home and you eat like your late night snack at 9. That is such a big eating window. I do not suggest, as much as I do not suggest that you start training 7 days a week or 6 days a week, even if that's your long-term goal, I suggest you start out smaller. So instead of eating your last meal at 9, maybe eat it at 7. And then you push it back 30 minutes the day after, and then you push it back 30 minutes, and then you push it back, and then you're gonna fall off, and that's okay. But then you go back on the horse again. So you progressively shrink the eating window, or progressively expand the fasting window, depending on how you see it. And when it comes to binge eating, be prepared for it. It's gonna happen. I don't know, I think it was Tim Ferriss who says how do we eliminate procrastination is by preparing for it. And it's the same thing here. You are going to feel cravings. It's not like you magically today don't crave anything. Have some fruit later. Yeah, exactly, especially during lockdown. Have some fruit next to you. Have dark chocolate next to you. Have one meal, or have a spare meal per day. If you used to eat 3 chocolates a day, and now you're gonna have to eat 2.5. Next week 2. Next week 1.5. Next week 1. So progressively, it's all about progression.
Next week you're licking a spoon of cocoa powder, but you're getting there.
Exactly. So those are my tips. And that's for everything. Everything. Progression is the key.
Seb, in terms of progression, I think we get now to what I'm very interested in, and what I think a lot of the people on this call are going to be interested in, which is bread and butter. How do we get results? Most of us are in social isolation, self-isolation, social distancing, combination of terms that I keep confusing, quarantine, what have you, name it as you wish. I can't go to the gym, Seb. I don't have weight, Seb. You've been hearing this, and I want to hear what you have to say about making fitness a reality at home.
Yeah, I recorded a workout today. I call it the living room luxury. The living room luxury workout. Why? Because you're at home. You're at home. That's the luxury of body weight training. You're at home. It's such a luxury. You don't need to go to the gym. It's very important that people remember that who told them that they have to go to the gym. And I'm saying this as a person who's been working in a gym for 4 years. And as a personal trainer, I need to tell you that you should come to the gym to get results, because that's how I get paid. But that is not the truth. You can get incredible results with bodyweight training at home. And the same thing goes there. Then it's progression and consistency. So then if you feel that you don't have time, you do have time, is that you're not focused on the time, If that's your thing, okay, do HIIT training, do 15 minutes, do 5 minutes before your shower, 5 minutes after your shower, 5 minutes before you go to bed, and then you're gonna get results. It's impossible for not getting results with that.
You're speaking my language. Small steps lead to big results. Now, I mentioned this in the last channel, link in the or not the last channel, the last episode, link in the description below, about a challenge that you're running right now called #FlattenTheCurve
Yes,
challenge.
sir.
I want to know, tell me a little bit. First of all, I want to know how this idea came about, and then what is working with the challenge? What are you seeing with your students there?
So how this challenge came about is that we really had a conversation with you and with some people, with some of my assistants here. We really had a conversation. It's like, okay, we are in total lockdown, and it's not only us. We can see it spreading all over the world. How can we just give back to our community as much as we possibly can? So what we...
Sorry to interrupt you there, but just for context, Seb's based in Spain. So his quarantine came in a lot sooner than for example, us in the UK and many of the rest of us, unless you're in Italy, if you're watching this from Italy.
Exactly, and I'm on day 29 right now in quarantine, and I left my home twice before going shopping. So we were really considering, like, okay, how can first of all myself and my brain have a good moment with this? How can I turn this obstacle into an opportunity, and how can I help as many people as possible? So we just started talking, started bouncing back and forth. Like I said, I bounced with you, I bounced with my assistant here, and we came up with, okay, let's do a challenge. Let's do a 30-day challenge. People believe that they are gonna lose their gains or their progress they made at the gym. Okay, let's make sure that we give it back. Not only physical, but also mental. So I always preach that our method is as much physical as mental, because without this, everything is gonna collapse. Without this, everything's gonna collapse. And that's the beautiful thing with this challenge, and that's because we are getting that exact feedback. Just, wow, I'm in better shape than I was before the quarantine started. I'm just gonna keep on doing this. Look, if I can conquer this goal, then I can conquer that goal. And I think it was you, Jean-Michel, who said it as an analogy in one of your previous episodes. I tell you guys, listen to this. I'm a Digital Dialogue fan, and it's like,
Top fan.
if you brush your teeth every day, you know, if you don't brush your teeth every day, you're gonna see it in the long term. But if you do it once a day, you're not gonna see anything. And that's the thing with fitness. If you do it every day consistently, you are going to see results mentally and physically.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm curious, in terms of the challenge in and of itself, what is working with the challenge? I think you've touched on that a little bit, in the sense that it's an opportunity for people to realize that living room luxury is a real thing. But also, what would you change? Now, I think you're getting close to the end of this challenge. Is there anything you'd say, okay, lesson learned, we are in unique times in terms of being forced to be at home. What's the future look like for you?
That's a great question. If there's anything I would change, with this particular challenge, no. Because this is the third time we're running a 30-day challenge. So we've been running it before, but not to the success extent of this one. So this time it's really the time where we're feeling like, wow, like we squeezed everything. It's really there. It's solid. 600 people signed up. Like, it's incredible. I'm so grateful for it. And what's next for us now is that we're doing a mental discipline course, and that comes from popular demand from our students, of people asking us, like, okay, how do you stay mentally healthy in these programs or in this self-isolation? And the future is scaring me, because we've been doing coaching calls with every student who wants to come on a coaching call with me. I run it for free with everybody.
Jeez, 600 students? Hi, man, you are a master of time management, a Zen master of time management.
We are zigzagging through time here. And this is what I say is, like, you have time more now than ever. Don't come with this, you don't have time. You just don't have the focus. It's a big difference. And that can be learned, and there is discipline is a skill. Like, that's a skill that you can develop. Just like reading or speed reading or writing or walking, you can learn this, and that's the truth of it.
I like, Seb, I like the analogy that you use, that discipline and willpower is another muscle that you just need to keep flexing to
Yeah.
get to a result. Yeah.
Forget
That's
this
a great
motivation.
analogy.
Motivation is a feeling. It's like being happy or being sad. You need discipline. That's what you need.
It's not always going to be there by far.
Absolutely. If any of you are thinking about, wow, there's a lot of information. We're talking about discipline. We're talking about fitness. We're talking about how to optimize our lives while we're in this self-isolation period. Do check out our second video where we talk about the 4 aspects that we cover in terms of providing some framework and structure on how to tackle that very question. Now, Susie, do you have any other questions for our man Seb?
I believe we could sit here and ask questions for hours because these topics are incredibly vast, and Seb is a professional who can give a lot of helpful advice. So if you guys like this episode and if you are interested to find out more about it, let us know in the comments below. Give us suggestions on what to do. Maybe we'll bring Seb back. Seb.
I love to.
And obviously,
I love to.
and obviously follow Seb on his Instagram. We'll link that below, as well as Dancers Bootcamp Online, which is his program. So yeah, let us know what you're interested to hear, because otherwise we could be here for hours. And yeah, there is also, apart from the topic of this video, as always, coronavirus trustable sources in the description down below. Make sure you go and check that out. Don't just panic by reading some crappy source online. And yeah, stay happy, stay healthy, and at home. I'm going to pass it to the guys to wrap this video up.
Seb, again, thank you so much for coming on and having a quick chat with us. As always, you have been an amazing coach, an amazing friend, and now an amazing conversationalist. Definitely want you back on this channel, maybe in a couple days as we go through this mental toughness, because I know that is going to be on top of people's minds as the sense of normality continues to fade away. For all of you joining us, we appreciate you. Remember, this is a conversation, so please leave your comments down below. Let us know what you want to talk about. Let us know if you want us to talk to somebody in particular, because we are happy to bring them on, give them a quick ring, and again, have the conversation. Chat soon. Stay healthy, stay safe, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Take care, guys.